Welcome to the Ball Pit. Not exactly the most enticing name for a game, I will admit, but this is a new roguelike that came out a couple weeks ago that has been really making the rounds on Steam, and I can see why. I suppose you could describe this game as Arkanoid or Super Breakout meets Vampire Survivors, but that's a bit of a simplistic analogy. All you really need to know is that you're going to be breaking bricks using balls, and it is a really addictive roguelike. Like legit, whenever I can find a spare 15 or 30 minutes, I'm in this game right now. It's great. Why don't I go ahead and jump into a game, and I guarantee you'll figure this out within like 30 seconds. And here we go. Now you're going to see that I am a character walking down this very long, nearly infinite corridor with enemies spawning ahead in the form of bricks, and we are going to throw our balls at them and try to break them apart. The goal is to destroy all of them before they reach the bottom of the screen. If they do so, then we will take some damage. Also, if we simply get too close to them, they will take a swipe at me. Run into them, you can take some damage, and so on. Take enough damage, and the run is going to be over, and you're going to die. Now, as we defeat enemies, they will drop these little XP crystals, very Vampire Survivors-like. From that, we can level up, and it's going to boost up one of our attributes, which makes us better in some way, and we'll also be able to get some upgrades. Now, every character can have 4 special balls and 4 passive items, though I do believe this increases to 5 in the late game as you get some progression going. Now, special balls obviously don't just do base damage, they do something special. Every character starts with at least one unique ball. In this case, we have the bleed ball, which is going to add some stacks of bleed. More bleed means more damage over time. Makes a lot of sense. We could also pick up the freeze ball, a chance to freeze enemies and also make them receive more damage. Not a bad idea. Could also try to just launch free baby gems, or we could go for ethereal cloak, pass through enemies, which can be pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and grab the freeze ball, though. I think I might be able to find cool ways of making that work, and now we are throwing both. Now, when you first start playing this game, I think a lot of people are going to be tempted just to pick a target and just throw the ball straight at them. But at some point, you're going to realize that's not the optimal way to play the game. Generally, you want to try to bounce things off of the side, get balls kind of tucked into the corner like this, so you can see we do a lot of damage in succession. That typically is how you're going to get the best value. What else do we want to do? Do we want to level up the freeze ball? We could, but I'm not really eager to do that. Balls deal more damage after hitting the back of the field. No, thank you. I'm going to do a reroll, believe it or not. It is good to pick up this freeze ball. It really is, but I'm not going for that right now. Instead, I'm going to go for the brood mother ball, a 25% chance of birthing a baby ball every time we hit an enemy. The baby balls are the non-special little white orbs that we are throwing right now. They just do a little bit of damage, but if you get enough of them on the field, it's not an insubstantial amount of damage, and having the extra little egg sac, the brood mother, can be pretty good. Notice some enemies, by the way, are trying to throw projectiles at me right now, which can get a little annoying as well. So you have to kind of pay attention and dodge a lot. Now, those little rainbow things, I want to make sure I pick that up real quick. That is a fusion reactor. For now, all it's going to do is give me 1 to 5 upgrade levels, because every ball you have and every passive item can level up to level 3, at which point you can start doing some fun stuff with them. So let's see what I get. 3, okay. 3 upgrades is a pretty average score. Sometimes you get 5, sometimes you get unlucky and only get 1. The more we pick up, the earlier we get. Generally speaking, the happier we're going to be. Do I want to get the wind ball? This would not be bad for us, actually. Pass through enemies and slow them down. Yeah, I don't mind picking this up. Sure, we'll go ahead and pick up the wind ball. So that's all 4 of my balls, currently. Though that's not the end of the story. There's a lot more we're going to be able to do, and there are quite a few unique balls in the game. I want to say there's something like, maybe like a dozen, maybe like 15 different unique balls in the game. But that's not the really exciting part with them, because what's really fun is you're going to have ways to combine them in pretty awesome ways. I want to pick up the Warhorn, by the way. All baby balls deal 20% more damage. Synergizes very nicely with the Brood Mother. So let's do that. We'll get another Fission upgrade. Let's hope for 5. We only got 2. Boom. All right. Well, we got upgrades to level 3 for both of our Bleed Ball and for our Brood Mother Ball. And to be honest, that's actually a fine thing. If we had to get anything, that's probably about what I wanted to get. So I'm just going to keep running around here, doing as much damage as we can. Now, I am playing on a faster difficulty. We could slow this down quite a lot if reflexes are your problem. But for me, no, I'm something of a pro. So, no, I like to go a little bit on the faster side. I say pro, watch me fail horribly as we play this, but you'll see how this works later on. So do you want to level up something else? You could go for that freeze ball, more wind ball. Archer's Effigy. Spawn a ally on my side of the field that does some damage. It's not a bad thing to get, I suppose, but I don't know. I think I'd rather just go ahead and grab the freeze, get that sucker leveled up. Some of these special frozen enemies, by the way, you'll see have like a little ice shield wall on one side, which means you have to hit them from a different direction or nothing's going to work. Now, here's the thing. This little glowing icon right here, it does more than just give you free levels, and this is where things start getting really interesting. Let's go ahead and pick that up. What we're going to be able to do now that our balls have reached level 3 is we can start combining them in interesting ways. If I were to take, let's say, Bleed and my Broodmother, I could actually get a combined effect. It's going to spawn baby balls that inflict bleed. That's kind of cool. Although certain combinations have something special here called an evolution. So I'm actually going to do the exact same thing here, but instead of combining the Bleed and the Broodmother effect, we're going to create something entirely new. This is called the Leech. So whenever we hit an enemy, it attaches up to 1 Leech, which just stacks on more and more bleed up to 24 stacks. So we've just created something entirely different, and there are a lot of unique combinations in the game, and if I get this Leech up to level 3, I can combine it with even more stuff to really create some ridiculously crazy combos. This is the primary draw of the game. Do I want to go for that burn? I could, and instead of going for a combination of wind and ice, I can go for a frost burn kind of effect. I think I'm just going to go ahead and, actually I want to grab the turret probably, fire a free baby ball every 2 seconds. That's actually not a bad thing. When we get our next fission ball, we'll have a chance to upgrade everything. Now, as you progress down the level, there are going to be some bosses, as we can see this bug guy right here, who does have a shield which is in the way, so I'm going to try to hit him from the side as much as I can. Afflict some of those leeches, really start stacking up some of that bleed effect. Also freezing him makes him a bit more susceptible to other damage, which is great. Try to bounce him off of his little buddies over here, and he's already dead. We are really cooking with some gas here right now. This is going okay. Earthquake is pretty good, also synergizes with Freeze. So already you've seen 3 different things that can synergize with the Freeze Ball. Some synergies are really strong and S tier, some are not, and you kind of have to decide, well, how do I really want to make this work? Do I really want to hold out for the best possible thing, or no? You could go for a Baby Rattle, a lot of baby balls, but my aim becomes scattered and it's harder to control. I actually want to grab the Pressure Valve. Enemies explode upon death. Very solid AoE damage. You really like this. It's good to see. Now, I don't want to pick up this fusion quite yet because I'm hoping, not quite. I was hoping we're going to be able to try to get the wind up to level 3 and do my combination, but maybe not. Another combination, by the way, the freeze. Ghost, pass through enemies and freeze them. Not bad. Egg sack, explode into a bunch of baby balls. Not bad, if I'm completely honest with you. Not bad at all. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to do that, and we're just going to accept that we're not going to do a fusion here. Instead, we're going to do another fission, trying to really ramp... Well, okay, just a couple of passives. I was hoping to get upgrades to the balls, but that didn't happen here. So I'm thinking I could actually combine the Leech and the Egg Sac, and that could be unbelievably good. Imagine that I can explode into a bunch of leeches and start stacking up tons of bleed. That is the idea. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that Leech Ball, though, because no matter what, doing lots of extra damage seems like a pretty solid idea. We're actually really on top of this right now. This is definitely a solid run. I've had a lot worse. I've also had a lot better, but there are so many different kinds of combinations, and a big part of the game is just discovering all of them, right? Like, just experiment with a lot of different things, or, of course, you could look them up, but I don't think that's anywhere half as fun. I think it's a way better just go ahead and experiment, find out what works, and be like, holy crap, this is a combo that I really want to hold on to, you know what I mean? I think that could be great. Looks like we're not going to be able to get all the upgrades I want here. Magic Staff, AoE damage is great. I'm going to get an upgrade for the Wind Ball, then we're just going to go ahead and pick up the next fission. I was really hoping that we could get another wind upgrade so we could fuse some more things, but did not get lucky with that one, but oh well, it's fine. It does take a little bit, and you kind of figure out the rhythm in this game as far as like, all right, how many fissions do I think I can expect? How many more am I going to get? Do I want to keep stacking up balls? Do I want to go for level ups? Timing all that can be important, because it really sucks to get a fission, have no fusions available for you, and you can only get like 1 or 2 upgrades. And it's like, well, that was a giant waste of a really important thing. So I don't know, you gotta figure that out just a little bit, but a lot of practice just kind of makes perfect here. There's my next thing, so we can actually go ahead and get our upgrade. Do I want to do that now, or would I rather hold out for the Leech and the Egg Sac? I don't think we're gonna get enough XP to level up one more time before this is gone. It does take a second, so let's just go ahead and pick up the fusion. We're gonna do another evolution because I already know that these two work well. So wind and ice come together, creating Blizzard. Freeze all enemies within a 2-tile radius and deal damage. Now, freezing enemies means they are not progressing down the track, which buys me more time to kill them and slow down everything behind them. So this is going to end up being pretty good for us. There we go. There are some passives that actually stack up very nicely with freeze and do AoE damage and stuff. Like, if you can find the right stuff, there's a lot of build enablers. And I think this is where, like, you have something popular from, let's say, Vampire Survivors. Like, let's be honest, everyone's favorite thing about Vampire Survivors is trying to figure out how you're going to evolve the right, like, items together, right? That's what everyone does like to do. Poison? What if I made Blizzard also do poison? That would be interesting. That'd be very interesting if I could do that as well. Might not be necessary. Could also go for more baby balls. I could also do a reroll at the cost of some gold. Poison is just sort of okay. It's not amazing. But I'll try it. We'll just go ahead and give that one a go. Let's just give that a go. I want to get an upgrade for the leech, though. If I can get one more level up, that'd be great. What was I saying? Oh, right, Vampire Survivors. So everyone likes that. But imagine something like Vampire Survivors, except instead of always knowing what items are going to synergize together, you create your own evolutions. I know, I see it, I'm grabbing it. Okay, I was hoping to get enough XP for one more upgrade to the leech. It's not what happened, so we're just going to have to accept the fission. I know, you were all looking at that like, are you mad? Are you going to throw that away? No, of course I'm not. Now, how long is a run? Generally speaking, around 15 minutes. That is it. About 15 minutes, and you are done skis. So it's actually a fairly, fast-paced game. It doesn't really need a lot of your time or a lot of investments, which I'm finding is really quite great for me since, I have 2 small children. It's difficult to have enough time to really devote into long-term games. So these fast-paced, fun, enjoyable, replayable games are really hitting the spot for me these days, and that's, I think, one of the reasons this has found such fertile soil. But also, just sort of in general, in the same way I was talking about Mega Bonk a week or so ago, I think these cheaper, indie, replayable games are really becoming very popular, and we're starting to see the impact of that in a big, big, big way. I'm going to go ahead and get that upgrade for the poison just in preparation for the next thing. Upgrade to the Warhorn. Sure, I don't really care about the magnet or the magic staff here right now, so we'll just ignore that. Let's get our first fusion going. So no evolution. What I'm going to do is say Leech and Egg Sac. Fuse! So now I'm taking my evolved Super Ball and making it even better in this way. So it does a lot of damage, it attaches a leech, adds 3 stacks of bleed, and then explodes into baby balls, which can hit an enemy, and spawn balls have the same properties as leech, which means they stack up. So I'm now a bleeding machine. Anything that would boost up my bleed damage would be unbelievably good right about now. Let's see, what's this? Crit when hitting enemies from the side, more movement speed, could go for an upgrade of the turret. I could, but I'm gonna go for a reroll and see what else we can get. A laser. Everyone likes a good laser. Lasers are fun. Or I could go for the upgrade to the poison ball to make sure I'm free for an upgrade later, and I'll just go ahead and do that. Lasers are solid, though. Don't get me wrong. Lasers are arguably among the best things to get. I just want to make sure when we get our next fusion, before the boss spawns at the end of the level, I want to be able to get that. There it is right there. See, that's why we didn't want to wait. I knew one was coming up eventually. Let's go ahead and upgrade Blizzard and Poison. So now it's Poisonous Blizzard. Are you seeing some of the potential here? And what's crazy is sometimes you can take an evolved ball and attach it to another, full level ball, and it creates another evolution on top of that, which is unbelievably powerful. If I could find a way to get one of those for you, I would happily do it, but I can't project what is going to happen in every single one of these runs. All right, we got 2 more ball spaces, so I should find a use for it. Another poison doesn't excite me. More crit from the right side. Let's go for a reroll. Let's see what else we can get. Vampire? Vampire has some uses, yeah. I'll pick it up. Sure. A chance to heal if I do take some damage. Not that I think I've taken much, if any, damage this run. We've certainly been fine, but I'll pick it up just as a little bit of insurance. Vampire has a surprisingly good number of evolutions. So if I can level up fast enough to get some value out of that, cool. I kind of don't think so, though. I think that about this point is kind of when we're done. We're not going to get any more meaningful evolutions. We can only hope to keep upgrading the balls that we've got. But the 2 that I do have, honestly, I'm very satisfied with. We have some pretty respectable damage. The freeze is good defensive utility. And also we have very strong AoE. All right, so let's see. Another fission, 1 to 4 upgrades this time because I don't have as much. All right, only 2, not as exciting. This is where it's usually worth trying to have more level ups. Vampire plus, let's say, Dark could be pretty good. Yeah, sure, I'll take another type of ball. Does 3 times damage, but only can hit 1 enemy, and then it destroys itself. Whoops. I accidentally just ran straight into some enemies. I have had this happen periodically in these levels, where as I walk around, I suddenly just, move a lot faster, and I don't always understand the rhyme and reasoning behind why that happens, but it does. But it does. Why do I feel like I haven't seen my Leech Ball doing anything for a while? Where is it? Leech Ball? It's up there somewhere. It's just sort of not having a chance to hit a lot of targets. I need to kind of punch through somewhere here in the center and then create lots of opportunities to bounce around. There we go, there we go. That's the sort of thing that we're looking for. Yeah. Find ways to sneak some of these things behind them And that's when you start doing all the buttload of damage. Beautimous. Now we're almost to the end of this track, so we are about to hit the boss. The faster we can clear the rest of this out, generally speaking, the better. Short bow, increased fire rates. The thing is, just increasing your fire rate does not mean you have more balls to fire. So it doesn't translate to something as good as you would like. Like, this is not... I don't know, in most roguelikes, this is amazing. For us, I don't think so. I think I'd rather just take the raw damage, make the Dark Ball a little bit better, and let's just see if we can clear this map out a little faster, because we are almost done. As you can see, the map is widening out with every boss. A little bit to go, and here comes the last waves. I see a few guys back up here. Let's go ahead and try to punch through. If I can sneak some balls up in the back, that would be nice, because they'll bounce around and do a lot of damage. The boss is coming up. Now, every boss does have some sort of a unique mechanic, some of which are a little bit tricky. A lot of them do require kind of careful aiming so that you can hit them from behind or the side or something along those lines. We'll grab the upgrade to the turret. There we go. Get that XP. Now, this particular enemy sits on a bunch of different plinths and has these spinning little blocks, which in this case are going to be starting to fire off a whole bunch of little icicles at me. I'm trying to shoot in between them as much as I can, dodge some of this fire. Well, I say fire, not fire literally, but some of the little icicles head in my way. Now, sometimes she'll do, there we go, this, and we got to move to the side, dodge, they all go back to where they were before, boom. You learn the patterns, right? And sometimes the bosses are actually a little bit tricky. If I could find a way to get some balls in the back so they can bounce back there and actually get stuck behind the blocks, that would have been ideal for me. She's going to spawn some additional enemies. That does happen. I assume it's a she. I don't know why I assume it's a she, but it just sort of seems like it should be. Whoop, I got hit by something there. Oopsies. And that's the thing. You don't want to get distracted. Some of these maps actually can get kind of tough. Like, it's not just an icicle or an arrow heading your way. They're like a bunch of laser beams, and if you're not really paying attention, you're doomed. Let's try to get some things snuck in behind over there if we can while she's distracted. There we go. That did the job. I watched that Dark Ball get in there, and she's dead. Easy. Now, here's the thing. When you play this game, right now you are seeing an account that is already fairly progressed. And by progressed, I mean that in between levels, we will have a form of medic progression. When you first start, you're not going to fire nearly that fast, you're not going to do that much damage, the balls won't travel that fast, you'll see. And this all comes down to a lot of these different things here. All the attributes have a scaling to them. I'm pretty sure everybody starts off at the E rank, so you don't get a lot of value, but you can improve that dramatically. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go ahead and return to a home base. So this is where we're going to be able to gather up a bunch of different resources in order to make us a lot stronger. Now, you could gather up things like some grain, some wood, and some stone. We also can gather up gold from those different levels. Place down some fields, place down some forests, and so on, and we'll harvest these to get a bunch more. But the really important stuff are going to be some of these extra buildings. So some of these buildings are simply going to unlock new characters, right? And that's actually very, very useful to you. Gives you more replayability, but you can also use characters for lots of harvesting. Some of them increase your attributes. So the schoolhouse, for example, just boosts up your intelligence rating for all characters, which is going to make our AoE and passive ability damage better. Others increase your scaling. So the diplomacy hall increased my leadership scaling to C. And the more we upgrade this building, the better it is until we can get to like an A or an S rank for everything. And that's going to make us have much more baby ball damage and more balls as well. So there's a lot of these things. We can take a look at the build menu here and see just some of the stuff. I don't really care about these gathering buildings, but like there's a lot more I have to unlock. Some down over here for warfare. These are some of the special attribute buildings. And then housing is for new characters. And I've got a lot of characters I still need to unlock. But how do you gather up these resources? Well, what you do is you do a harvest. If I click on this, all of the characters I have unlocked, all of them, are going to then run around the map and bounce around here to gather up resources. Everything they run into will get them something. Therefore, it's important to actually set up your buildings in such a way that you can contain people to get the resources that you really want. In my case, I'm taking buildings I want upgraded and placing them on the sides and keeping everything well contained. I also have something special from this building right here. This is a housing for the Repentant character. The first 2 workers that bounce on this are going to gain 25% movement speed. I'm just placing that in an area to make sure that somebody hits it so that they can run around and gather things a little faster. It's not absolutely critical. Anyway, let's go ahead and try to get some of these buildings upgraded. So I'm going to launch every one of the characters. and you can see that they are going to run around and gather up resources. If we have any blueprints that are under construction, as we hit them, we're going to be able to finish up the structure. In fact, I should be able to finish this one right here. There we go. Another one down over here. All right, so I've just boosted up some of my scaling and or attributes a little bit more. And there we go. We finished with our harvest timer. We gathered up all these resources to spend on meta progression, and I've got a upgrade for the consulate for level 4 leadership, and the alchemist for B level endurance scaling. That's how the meta progression works. Hopefully that all makes sense. I'm going to jump into another run here. Let's see what else we can play with. I'm going to try playing as that Repentance we had talked about. This character is actually quite good, but he's very unique. The balls are going to deal more damage every time they bounce. When they hit the back wall, they automatically are going to return to the player, damaging every enemy they pass through. All right, that could be useful. Let's go ahead and play in the desert. And let's see what we end up picking up here. So now the problem is I can't just leave these balls to bounce around in the back line. That's not going to work because the balls always return. So doing a lot of attacks from the side are especially useful to me because, again, the more we bounce around, the more damage and such we are going to be able to do. So I really want these balls kind of trapped in a conclave of enemies to get as much value as possible. This level is going to be a lot harder than the last one, though, by the way. There's a good chance I am still going to lose. Do I want to get an upgrade to freeze? I mean, not really, because when I get my first fission, I don't want to have very few things to upgrade. Healer's Effigy doesn't excite me. Baby Rattle, I don't, okay, I'm going to have to get the upgrade to the freeze. None of that's what I want, and I don't have enough gold to go for a reroll, but that is what we call a little on the unfortunate side. Let's just go ahead and try to hit these guys over here in the back end as much as we can. Now, I don't really like the freeze ball that much. It's pretty good in the sense of freezing enemies is great, but only a 4% chance does not excite me. We can go for lightning again. I do like having lots of AoE on this map in particular. You need a lot of it, trust me. So lightning can end up being pretty good for us, and we could use that with our blizzard effect. Now, interestingly, even though we didn't have wind, blizzard should mean that it's going to continue passing through enemies, unless I'm misremembering what it's going to do here, but we're okay. I think getting the laser is solid. Sure, we'll go for this. Every time it hits an enemy, it will do some horizontal damage. All enemies in the same row are going to get hit. So let's run up here, hope for 5. 1. Oh, that sucks massively. Okay. Well, you can't win them all, but you sure as heck can try. All right, notice, by the way, that the enemies here, these scarabs, are now firing laser beams, so I gotta make sure that we are paying attention to that and not getting hit by any of them. So far, our damage is keeping up, but after every boss, the enemies get a lot stronger, so you have to keep scaling or you're gonna be in trouble. Broodmother is good, but I'm actually thinking that the magic staff works well with lasers and with my lightning, so more AoE damage should actually be good for me right now. That's what I'm gonna try for. Let's see if it works for us. Come on, do a lot more bouncing than that, guys. You guys are really not working well for me here. We'll do another fission. We've got plenty of room for upgrades. 3, 4, all right, 4 is pretty good. 4 is pretty good, I'll take it, I'll take it. It almost makes up for the fact that we had such a bad one last time around. All right, enemies popping up like little sandworms. They're now poisoning me. I just took some damage from a laser because I'm not paying attention enough. Whoopsies. We'll be fine, we'll be fine. All right. So what do I want to upgrade here? Now, the thing is, I could go for the upgrade to the freeze and the lightning together. I could also go for the laser and the freeze together, and that actually might be pretty good too. The vampire ball has a lot of potential use going forward. I'll go ahead and pick that up. Would have preferred to have a level 3 in something so that I could have gone for a good fusion. I don't know. Do I want to go for the blizzard or no? The freeze is really, really good. But having the laser combined is pretty good too. Let's see if I can get one more level up. That might make the decision. All right, we got the laser. I'll do that. This is not very good for us. The upturned hatchet, 80% more damage after hitting the back. But remember, our balls come right back after hitting the back, so we don't get a lot of value out of this. I'm going to go for that laser. Let's run back over here. We're going to grab this. I'm going to go for an evolution. And instead of going for blizzard, let's get the freeze ray. So every time we hit an enemy, deal damage to all enemies in a path in a laser, kind of like what you had before, but it goes in diagonals, with a strong chance of freezing for 10 seconds, which is a very, very, very long time. So we've got this now. And of course, maybe I can find more ways to upgrade that even further so it synergizes more with stuff. We will see. We got ourselves a boss. Let's just go ahead and try to hit him as much as we can. Trying not to hit the back. I mean, I guess we could hit the back, but it doesn't matter too much. My balls are going to do damage on the way back there regardless. Trying to clear some enemies out, but if I can find a way to get some stuff tucked back here, that would be even better for us. I want these to kind of hit the boss from behind You don't get more damage as far as I know from hitting from behind unless you have specific builds for that, but oh well. Ghost, wind, more laser. If I did Ghost, I could get that with my Freeze Ray, and then it will hit a lot of enemies. It will pass through all enemies and create a ray on everyone it hits. So actually, Ghost might be a phenomenal synergy to go right along with the lasers I've already got. We could go for another passive. None of these seem incredible to me right now. I'm going to do a reroll and see what else we can get. Do we want to upgrade the Freeze Ray, or do I want to upgrade the Ghost? I think I want to upgrade the Freeze Ray for now. Just hit something from behind. By the way, we just picked up a blueprint, so as you explore some of these maps with different characters, you will find some of these upgrades, and this blueprint is what we can build back at base. So I just found my archery range, which is my dexterity scaling. This was the last scaler that I was actively missing. So I'm very glad to find that. Thank you. All right, what else can we get here? We could go for another upgrade of the Freeze Ray. I could get the Freeze Ray and combine it with Lightning, but I really like the idea of combining it with Ghost. So we're just going to do this. That's fine. Let's go for a fission, not a fusion. We'll save this for what I want. Okay, 3 balls. Not as good as I would have liked. Kind of wanted to get a double upgrade on the Ghost, but it's okay. One really good item that we could pick up is actually called the Ethereal Cloak as the Repentant. So we pass through all enemies, like with the Ghost Ball. But your balls, like, do, I think, extra damage or something like that if they hit the back. But they all come back to you anyway. So it just pairs up beautifully with what we're doing. Pressure Node is great. I'm going to do a reroll because I want to get this Ghost Ball because now's a great time to go ahead and pick up the fusion I wanted. So Freeze Ray and Ghost, combine those. So now my Freeze Ray is going to hit everything, but it also passes through enemies. So we should see a lot more of these rays going off, assuming that it is... There we go. Yeah, we're starting to see a few more of them go off now. Cool, very good. So this combined with Magic Staff means my AoE damage potential has increased pretty substantially. That is not a bad setup for me. Not a bad setup at all. I'm quite happy with this. What else can I get with my level ups? I don't want to do a fission here. I want to get something new to upgrade. We could go for another Ghost Ball. I don't know about that. Earthquake? Would this combine with anything? Not really. Trying to think what I would actually combine these with. That's the problem. Lightning, I don't think combines with Vampire. You'd think that Ghost and Vampire do. I don't think they do. Have I tried that before? It does, actually. I just looked it up. I wouldn't say it's an amazing pickup, but it's an okay one. It would get us a lot of healing at the very least. I'm kind of tempted to reroll here, though, and I think I'm going to. None of these are the combos Okay, you're really taunting me here. We'll do another reroll here. Oh, my God. All right, the game's really freaking with me right now. Turret, maybe? I don't know. All right, fine. We'll get the turret. I have to do a fission here. It's only 1 to 3 upgrades, so we're really not getting a lot of value out of this. That's kind of what I was afraid was going to happen. That was a worst-case scenario for me right there. Not at all what I was looking for, but okay. Taking a little bit of damage from some poison. I think we can still make this work, but that was a fairly costly setup there, and that's exactly the timing that you don't want to happen with your fission right there. You do not want to get in the position where you do not get all of your value out of every one of those level ups. Would have been nice. Would have been really nice. Come on. Can we finish you off, please? Get back here. Get back here. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, we got another one. I didn't mean to pick that up just now. Okay. Well, I feel like we have to do a fusion then. It's not good. Lightning Vampire, I mean, it's AoE healing potentially. Like, there are worse things out there, but that is not what I would have wanted to see. And now we're only down to 2 special balls, so let's see what else we can get. Come on! You guys are taunting me here. All right, that's not good. All right, fine. Crits from hitting from the left side. There are worse things. Crits are good, and as long as I am aiming in a way that I'm hitting from the left, this ends up being okay. It actually could be pretty good for us against the boss when we get to that. Now, we're already at our next mid-boss, so we are going to have 2 of these enemies here, which is annoying. We'll try to hit them from the left side as much as we can. Kind of like this. Yeah. It's getting something. I don't know. These guys, I don't even think they do anything special. They're just super-duper tanky, and there's 2 of them. But with some good freezes, we might actually be able to deal with it super fast. I don't know. The lasers coming in are certainly not going to help me right now. Let's go for a bit more of that XP. Earthquake. Here we go. Frozen Spike. When an enemy is frozen, it does damage to all nearby enemies. It's not Ethereal Cloak, but it's at least something that I can use. So I'll take it right now, just locking in those passives. Now, passives obviously do not combine with anything. So once those are locked in, that's just kind of it. That's what you're going to get. Another Ghost Ball. I mean, since I'm not getting Ethereal Cloak, it could work, but I'm going to take another Freeze Ball. Since I have the Icicle, maybe I can find another combination with Freeze, where I can get even more freezing to happen, and that becomes my new AoE damage. In fact, combine that with Lightning or Wind now for a Blizzard, and that actually would end up being pretty good for me. Not Vampire. No, we're going to pass on that. Let's just go ahead and double down on this Freeze Ball. All right, that is done. Good. Probably not going to get another level up. Maybe I will, actually. Let's see. Let's just get down here. No. Found another blueprint. The markets. Exchange gold for other resources. Probably not going to need that because I have lots of resources. I'll just go ahead and pick up the Fission then. So we get only 2. For God's sake. The game hates me. All right, that enemy actually did get down to the bottom, which means he automatically attacked me, and you would have seen I just took some damage. Annoying. Not the end of the world. Freeze and Dark? I'm about positive that that is not a thing, so we're going to do a reroll here. Freeze and Laser, I could go for another one of these. I mean, it's not exactly unique, but okay, fine, whatever. It's effective and it synergizes with what we already have. If I get a second one, like, what's the harm? Okay, I didn't mean to pick that up just now, but we get another Fission. 1, 2, 3. All right. This is going to be a much tougher boss fight. If we can survive to get to that point, that would be amazing for us. My AoE is a little on the low side because the enemies have a lot more health all of a sudden, and there are going to be a lot of them in a minute. So if I don't really start clearing things out here pretty quick, this is going to get out of control very, very soon. But the good news is with this many lasers and stuff, I think we got a good chance of making that work. Let's go for the level 3. So the next time we do get one of those fusions, we can go for another evolution. A weird repeat evolution, but you know what? It's going to combine up with that Icicle Spike, I'm hoping, in a pretty powerful way. We'll see. We'll see. Get back there. Come on, get into the back and do as much damage as you can. I want these balls to get stuck in a position that bounces off of even more things and does a lot. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Another evolution. Double Ray. Not at all what I was expecting. Not at all what I was going for, but all right. All right. Now, there are some things you can do, like, for example, you can go for iron balls and fireballs to create an explosive bomb, and then if you also pair that up with poison, it creates, like, literally a radioactive nuke. So every time it hits enemies, it explodes in this massive AoE, and then you pair that up with something that, like, spawns a bunch of them, like an egg sac, and all of a sudden, what happens? You launch, like, 6 nukes at once and instant clear the map. Like, there are broken combos out there. And that's a big part of the fun and the charm of the game, I think, is just doing that, finding those insane combos, and then just having a lot of fun. It's a proper roguelike experience. It's so simple and easy to understand. It is a little bit difficult to master, I think, at least initially. But as you discover more, as you get those crazy combos, you just start having a lot of fun. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's a fast-paced, fun, very replayable game, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. And again, I just have to reiterate, like I said from a couple of weeks ago, I do think that there is a huge market right now, especially in the indie scene, where if you can come up with some very fun, replayable games like this that are cheap and do not take a lot of time or commitment, 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and that is it. There's a huge market. You can get a lot of value. This game has already sold something like 400,000 copies. It's probably getting close to 500,000 by the time that I am recording this. It's solid. Very, very solid pickup for everyone involved. I'm sure they are quite happy with that. But I do recommend this game. On a personal level, I do recommend it. All right, we're almost at the last boss. I have only fought this guy, I think, once before. So I don't remember exactly how it works. You do not need to wait as long to progress down levels as I have. We could have fought this guy many times. Oh, it's a giant snake. That's right. But I'm kind of one of those guys that goes back with every character and beats the level every single time, and that actually rewards your progression very, very well, so that's nice. So another ball would be nice, but this is probably my last level up. I'm actually kind of thinking the 60% crit chance is a little bit better than just doing a little bit more damage with an unupgraded ball. So I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, this scares me. Hello. Like I said, I've only fought this guy once, so okay, he's going to fire off lots and lots of poison. We're going to try to hit this wall back here, so that we can do as much damage on the left side as possible. Trying to dodge this, but we're doing lots of hits on his left. The balls are getting a little bit stuck in the back, which is not great for me, but that's the good news is as the Repentant, they come back to me. Now, I do think, that with this boss, as he goes down rings, he probably has new abilities, which could be a little scary. But it's okay. I am a pro gamer over here. I'm a proper pro ball thrower. Like, what are you going to do? Okay, I don't like that all this extra poison is suddenly coming up. I'm leaving my mouse... Whoa. That is fast, dude. That was unreasonably fast. What are you doing? Okay, I'm taking a fair bit of damage from poison and stuff now. We've got him down to half health. So that's something. Come on, finish these guys off. All these little poison guys are actually going to be a problem. Look how much health they have. They got so much health. Last time I fought this guy, I had a much better single target DPS build, so I absolutely wrecked him. But now I'm feeling a little bit less secure, let's say. Okay, just trying to dodge all this. Keep hitting him from the left side. 60% crit chance has got to start adding up eventually, one would like to think. Come on, come on, come on. We're burning him. I wish I had a really good damage over time build right now with this character. I feel like on this particular type of boss, that would actually be very, very impactful. All right, so he is now mobile and running around with a giant laser. He's a firing his laser. I don't like that. I'm gonna try to get up and just keep hitting him from the left. But if he's gonna keep doing the same pattern, this isn't so bad. Just keeps targeting me like this. Yeah, this is a very predictable setup. I'm not feeling very scared of you yet. Not until you do something new. Are you gonna do something new? Or are you just gonna keep doing the same thing? The problem is this boss does not appear to be freezable. I'm stuck in a puddle. Okay, I don't like getting stuck in the puddle. He's not freezable, which actually means that my freeze build with icicles is nowhere near as impactful as it could have been. So that's why I'm wishing I had a damage over time build. Like this particular enemy, I think that my freeze build was the wrong way to go, but it's what I had to work with. Anyway, there we go. All right, we get a desert trophy. Sweet. Gain some extra critical hit chance for every character that completes this map. And then each fast tier completed on top of that gets even more. So the more we replay this with other characters at higher difficulties, the more we progress and have the extra crit chance, which carries for the rest of the game. Very solid. I would like to build that. We also got the Mausoleum, unlocking a new character. And we've obtained a gear. So when you have beaten a map twice, with different characters, you gain gears. Gaining gears is how we are going to progress to the new level. So, at the very minimum, you have to beat every level with 2 characters. But again, it's very valuable to just beat them with as many characters as possible. Housing ability has changed. The first 3 workers get 30% movement speed. Even more effective harvests. I like it. Yep, I don't know, guys. I think that Ball Pit, again, it's sort of an unassuming game, but it's kind of one of those perfect little indie games that you can just play for hours and hours. And now I've unlocked the Light Ball, the Vampiric Sword, the Silver Blindfold, and Deadeye's Amulet. Very, very fun. Let me just go ahead and build and rearrange a couple things real quick. I'll pick up the Mausoleum, place that somewhere there. And I want to grab that archery range as well, place you here. And then I want to get that desert trophy. And for that, I don't mind moving, let's say, one of these rocks or something out of here, and then we'll just place that like here so it gets built pretty quick. Okay, let's go ahead and do a harvest. I'm going to do this intentionally so we get the first 3 with a lot of extra movement speed, and I really want to get this stuff upgraded and leveled up as much as we can. Please build these new things, though. I'd love to see the Mausoleum. I'd love to see the archery range. Maybe I should have contained these characters a little bit more. I don't know. We at least got the archery range, so that scaling is done. Perfect. And that's Ball Pit, folks. Longer video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it because I certainly am enjoying it myself. If you want to learn more, there will be a link in the description down below, and I'd encourage you to click on that one. Not a sponsor, I just think that good games deserve a bit of attention. Be sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy this video, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.